What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Yes, we are live here on Thursday. We got a great stream coming up for you. We will be talking about meeting Miami Dolphins' newest quarterback, Skylar Thompson, possibly future QB1. Who knows? We'll talk about it. If you think this stream is just gonna be a stream trying to talk bad about Tua and this and that, it's not the case. I'm giving this kid a fair evaluation, talking about what I think he is, what he could be, and what he may not be. So we're gonna break him down, get to know him, and basically see what we have coming into camp as well. Shout out to everybody that's coming in the building. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. All right. Now, I've been watching a lot of film on Skylar. And again, it's mainly highlights, right? I've been watching a lot of film on Skylar, but I don't really want to talk about the film that I watched because it was mainly highlights. I went in and looked up some professional evaluations of him and some of the things that his coach in college had to say about him. And I want to give a special shout out today to DolphinsTalk.com. They had a good article that really summed up a lot of the stuff that I had found as well. And also shout out to Dolphins Wire. They had some details on their site as well for some of the stuff I found. So I figured, hey, I'll shout out to Dolphin platforms and read off the content and show you the type of work that they produce in their respective areas. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. We're talking about Kansas State's quarterback, Skylar Thompson. I keep trying to say Kyler. I don't know why. Skylar Thompson, all right? We're going to break him down in and out. But again, hit the like button, y'all. We got 96 people in here and only 33 likes. Y'all punch the like button so we can get started. Vic Papo said, TD, you're just a hater. I'm not hating on Skylar, bro. I don't even know the man to be hating on him. Well, don't do that to me, man. Yes, TD, you always bashing Tua. Well, this ain't one of those moments, okay? So you don't need to buckle up, all right? Let me see. Scant dollar. We'll see, Scant. All right, man. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right. Appreciate those that hit the like button. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So first and foremost, Skylar Thompson, Kansas State quarterback. I think this kid is special, but when you come into the NFL, you think every kid is special. But I truly think this kid is special and can be something special. But it's gonna matter. What's gonna matter is how much work he puts in and how much tendencies he wants to get rid of as far as the bad tendencies. All right. First and foremost, why did we draft Skylar Thompson? Why did we draft Skylar Thompson? All right. Usually on your roster, everyone has a project quarterback. Everyone has a quarterback that they want to develop and hopefully turn into a solid backup that they can get a great value out of. And if, God willing, he shocks you and becomes a Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, one of those type of guys. You never know, but you always want to invest in a quarterback. And at a bare minimum that you could develop to be a solid backup, that if your starter goes out, you win games. You could still win a game or two with him. And I think that's to start out why they drafted him, because I know that we have a backup in Teddy Bridgewater, but regardless, I know people want to sit here and make it one thing or another. Teddy Bridgewater isn't our backup. Teddy Bridgewater is our insurance policy for QB1. So, yes, he may be listed in a backup role because I'm one of the main people that said there will be no competition. They will not allow that to happen. But I don't think you should look at Teddy as a backup. He's an insurance policy for QB1. He's the guy that you're not going to see a drop off if QB1 doesn't play. Last year, you saw a drop off. When QB1 Tua Tagovailoa didn't play, you saw a drop off like no other. It was off the cliff, right? Which is crazy. The statistics were kind of similar, but I'm just saying, y'all know the eye test tells you saw a drop off. Teddy Bridgewater was brought in not to be the backup, but the insurance policy in the event And I know everybody say, well, TD, that's the backup. There's no drop off. And I'm telling y'all now, I truly believe with this team and this system, it don't matter which one of those guys start, you're going to get probably a similar level of production. And some would argue even more upside on Teddy, but that's neither here nor there. So you still need a guy for the future because you can't have Teddy being an insurance policy and or backup for multiple years making $6 to $10 million a year. Y'all do realize they paid Teddy $6 million a year, and it can go as high as 10 depending on certain situations and incentives. You don't pay a backup more than, in my opinion, you don't pay a backup more than you don't pay a backup more than $3 million unless you're not sure about your quarterback. That's just the truth. You don't tend to pay a backup more than $3 to $4 million unless you're just unsure about your quarterback. And we constantly pay the $5 and $6 million, and Teddy got an even richer deal where they can get as high as 10. So with that being said, you still need to find your a backup for the future. And I think Skylar Thompson could potentially fill that role. But who am I to limit him? Who's to say it can't be greater than that? Time will tell. Who's to say it'll flame out and he can't even be a backup? Time will tell. But why did we draft him? I personally feel like it had a lot to do with making sure you had a solid guy as a backup that can potentially be developed to win games anyway. But thanks to Dolphins Wire, even though, I mean, we all saw the press conferences, I just like how they put it together. I'm going to read off from their site the quotes from Mike McDaniels and Chris Greer on why they drafted Skylar Thompson. Okay. So first off, Chris Greer said, I think going through the process here, we've all kind of seen him over the years. It seems like every year Kansas State pulls off a big upset over someone, and he has a game that people end up talking about. He's a competitive kid that's smart, tough. He's got some athletic ability. I always appreciate how he played and how their coaches and people around him talked about him and his character as a person. It was always intriguing. And then we got to the point where at the end, let me scroll this up. At the end, where there is a guy that has some potential to develop as a quarterback and has some upside, we're excited. The coaching staff and Mike McDaniel, I'll let him speak on that, but this followed suit with their work. Then Coach McDaniel spoke, and he said, "You're excited when you turn on the tape and you see a guy with passion that plays the position of the quarterback," McDaniel explained. You could feel his command and his competitiveness, and that's something that the entire team benefits from because you're touching the ball all the time and making decisions. We felt good about the opportunity. I just really like that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me push this up. All right. I just really like the way he played the game and how competitive he was. I think that everyone will be excited that we added a competitor to the team and moving forward in that way. Skylar by far had the best audience too around him. He basically went on to talk about his draft when they made the phone call. The people in the background were going crazy insane, which I'm sure y'all heard the call, okay? Thompson may have a lot of work to do before he earns anything in Miami, but it's evident the Dolphins as an organization like what he brings to the table. So once again, shout out to Dolphins Wire for dropping that article and Mike Masala, the author of the article. All right. Want to make sure I gave him a shout out. So they basically explained you. They gave you general terms. They like what he can do. They like the upside, all of that good stuff. Now I want to go on to the next article, but because this one is a lot more detailed. Shout out to Dolphins Talk. And this one is courtesy of Mike Oliva, who dropped this article. And I appreciate it, Mike, because I found this one to be one that was compiled together pretty well and with great sources as well. All right. So He basically talked a lot about Thompson, who he is, where he's from, and all of those type of things. In 2015, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year and Simone Award winner, which was the top player in Kansas City metro area. He also won a state championship as well. So this kid knows what it means to win. All right. When he first started his college career, he redshirted his first year. Then in 2017, he was the backup quarterback, and he ended up starting the last 4 games of the season. And the article goes on to tell you all the stats and all of that stuff, and they're actually pretty nice stats. The completion percentage has some work. You know, it was basically career around about 66, somewhere around that 65, 66. So that can have some work. But what stood out to me the most was he's a rushing quarterback. He ran the ball a lot. They actually used him to run the ball, and he took off as a runner. He scores a lot of rushing touchdowns, y'all. You know how it's so listen. So you might actually see him get some reps in on goal line if they actually decided to have him on the 53. Not likely, but we'll talk about it, all right? Because I don't think it's a rush to since Teddy's here. All right. Now, I want to go ahead and tell you what some of the scouting reports said. But starting out with ESPN, they said Thompson possesses good pocket mobility and arm strength, but his hand span 5.58 is a concern. Thompson makes off-platform throws and finds checkdowns late. His ball placement is inconsistent, but he's effective when he gets in rhythm. A lot of that sounds just like Tua, you know, outside of the fact that this guy has better arm strength. He's a good pocket mobility, which Tua is. Thompson has good arm strength. You know, that's something that we want to see with Tua this year. His hands are a little on the small side. But the thing I do like about what ESPN said, he makes off-platform throws, so he doesn't have to be planted to make throws. And that's something that Tua struggles with. If his base ain't there and he ain't planted, you know, you don't know what you're going to get coming out of that arm. And this is like one of those guys that's just a baller. You know, he ain't gotta be upright, straight for it to be perfect every time. He's one of those players, you know. I could do it upside down and try to angle it the right way to get where it need to go. So those off-platform throws are an indication of a guy who knows how to improvise on plays as well. He finds checkdowns late, which I love. That means he's actually looking for the deep ball, which he has a strong arm. But when necessary, he's coming back to look down for the check down. So he's not a, check down and first read, bam, 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 bam guy. He's actually looking for the opportunity in the defense. And then if it's not there, checking it down. So he has that level of discipline. Now his ball placement is inconsistent, just like our current quarterback, because if he can improve that, he'd be on the money. But he's effective when he gets in rhythm. So like I said, an improv player that when they're in rhythm, they killing you, man. That's what this guy is, all right? Now, the NFL Draft Buzz scouting report had his strengths as good accuracy overall, which is good, including excellent accuracy on short timing routes to backs and receivers, which is our offense. Good accuracy in short routes. That's what we're going to be doing. Tua has that as well. Placing the ball slightly in front to lead receivers to potentially yardage after the catch. That means he can do it, but as you saw earlier from ESPN, it's inconsistent though. He can do it, but it's inconsistent. So, very similar to what we're dealing with, all right? He has enough arm strength to drive the ball through tight windows up to 20 yards downfield, spreads the ball around to multiple receivers. And what people need to understand about arm strength, it's not how far you could throw the deep ball. It's about how far you could throw the ball on a rope. I'm talking about where the ball don't have to leave over 10 feet in the air, where you're just getting it there. It ain't easy. Most guys fall off drastically after about 10 to 15 yards. This guy, finds the tight windows and has the ball strength to get it up to 20 yards downfield with his arm strength. So that's very important. Velocity. Thanks, Sweet Drunk. where you don't have to put a lot of velocity on the ball, but you're just getting it in there and further downfield, though. I saw Herbert do one for like 25 yards in that game where they were going back and forth trading that everybody was going crazy about. Y'all remember that for the touchdown right at the end zone between double coverage? Man, that was a crazy throw. That's what we're talking about. Now, generally accurate on intermediate and short throws, flashes anticipation and placement on intermediate outs, and the ability to lead receivers on deeper throws. Oh, Lord, if we could just see that again in Miami. I don't know the last time I saw that, y'all. Leading receivers on deep throws. When the last time y'all saw that? And I ain't talking about the 5 times in a full season. I'm talking about you got a guy that leads a deep pass 25, 30 times in a season. Just amazing, you know? Even if it's 15 times in a season. Lord, when is the last time that we've been able to see our quarterback lead the ball down the field in stride, lead it now, not make the receiver adjust for a back shoulder and all that crap. Lead the ball. Tannehill did it. He was sucked at it at first, but that's the area he improved in. And that's actually one of his strong suits now. But man, this is the area that we want to see consistently when the opportunity is there. And this kid may be able to bring that to this team. And remember, man, this is a 7th round pick. Look at the upside. This is a 7th round pick. All right. Now, he sees the field very well when the plays break down and occasionally changes plays at the line. Oh, gosh. I don't know how I missed that. I ain't read that last time. That's actually getting me excited about Skylar. I'm getting the QB1 jitters. Oh, my gosh. They say this man sees the field very well when the play breaks down and occasionally changes plays at the line. Changes plays at the line. Oh, and sees it when it's all broken down. Oh, he still sees the field, still sees it all. Oh, my gosh, if we can get that, man, that would be, man, Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl intangible we missing, man. Gosh, his line in Kansas was horrible. I don't even know, honestly, but that's good to know. Oh, man. He sticks throws in the tight windows over the middle, throwing to spot on slants or between zone defenders before the receiver is open. Oh, my gosh. The true anticipation. If you could get that on this level. Man, what's up, TD? Miss you, bro. Hope all is well. Appreciate that, G-Firm. Wait, who put that? Okay. Oh, my gosh. Those intangibles, man, that we really would love to see, but time will tell, man. Very mobile, has a natural knack for making defenders miss, can run for big gains. This is your mobile quarterback, y'all. If you go look at what he did, he's actually a mobile quarterback, and he has the size to be able to withstand more than the usual. He reminds me of a Josh Allen when you look at his body to some degree. Not quite, but to some degree, he reminds me of him. Man, now let's talk about some of the weaknesses on the scouting report. Here's what's funny. They put this as the weaknesses. Marginal height. Marginal height. This guy's actually taller than Tua. But they said which will prove more of a detriment in an offense that asks him to drop back from center more often. But that ain't what our offense typically is. And he's actually taller than Tua for them to say that he has marginal height. He's 6'2", Tua 6'1", if I'm not mistaken. I don't get the logic of marginal height. Well, I guess most quarterbacks are still over 6 feet. But 6'2" is that's just slightly over me. He's 6'2" and a half. Come on. Oh, well, it says 6'2", but maybe 6'2" and a half. I don't know. I read 6'2" when I did the research. All right. But it don't matter. At the end of the day, we can't look at that as a weakness if the guy we got now is shorter. So it definitely ain't a weakness to me. Here we go. He struggles with his decision making and needs to improve his pre-snap recognition skills to read defenses and see blitzes. That's an issue. That's something that we deal with now. At least he's at the line of scrimmage making changes, but he needs to get better at what he's identifying in those changes. And the beautiful thing about this kid is he is a little bit on the smart side, so he's intelligent. So with Mike McDaniel and his teaching, if Mike McDaniel is supposed to work wonders for Tua, imagine what he can do for this kid as well that already has certain intangibles. Let me see here. Needs to improve his touch and know when to gun it. So basically, he may be a little gunslinger too. Gets a little happy throwing the ball down the field. When to take something off the throw. Accuracy is solid, but far from great with streaky ball placement downfield as he tries to thread the needle too much. So there you have that too. He gonna throw the ball down the field, but is it gonna be accurate all the time? I don't know what we want to take as Dolphin fans. So this makes me feel like you want him to not throw it down the field as much until he can tighten up in that area. And that's kind of where Tua is right now, in my opinion. Let me see here. Where am I? All right. He has a high completion percentage padded by many quick screens. Our system. He throws a lot of bubble screens in college. He sells throws to either sideline receivers, make him look good with acrobatic catches. Back foot throws are not accurate. Sometimes trust his arm too much, trying to stick passes late in the play or when off balance. Often fails to react to pressure in the pocket and tries to escape too early. That's that runner mentality where he wants to do things with his legs. I feel Josh Allen does that as well, but Josh Allen at least makes it work. So this kid, if you go look at his rushing stats in college, he obviously making it work because he runs the ball. He picks up yards running the ball for sure. Over 4 yards a carry pretty much. All right. So this is what the NFL scouts say. Skylar Thompson is a marginal prospect who may struggle to get drafted, but he has decent accuracy and is very mobile, but possesses only average arm strength and has suspect decision making. We expect Thompson to eventually make an NFL roster as a solid backup. But here's the NFL draft dive, okay? This is what I wanted to go over with y'all real quick. Let's see here. I wanted to go over the NFL comps with y'all. So they gave a comparison for Skylar Thompson at the bottom and a ceiling comparison, okay? Do y'all know who the floor comparison is? Taysom Hill in New Orleans. That's his floor. That's the comparison that he is as a floor quarterback. But if that's going to be the floor, would you take that? If that's your 7th round pick's floor, would you take that? I'm curious. A yes or no in the comment section. Would you take that? Yes. And they also have one here, his ceiling. Y'all ain't going to believe who they got his ceiling as. Let me read it to y'all. His ceiling is Dallas Cowboys' very own quarterback, Dak Prescott. Dak is considered a franchise-level quarterback and is one of the highest paid in the position. So this is a high-level comparison for Skylar. Dak is a real threat with his legs and his arm. He is a rather resilient player like Skylar. I think with good enough coaching that eliminates some of his bad habits, works on his deficiencies in a scheme that works around his lack of some natural abilities like arm strength, he could achieve a status in the NFL similar to Dak Prescott. And you can't say that may not be true, because look at what Dak came in as. Look what Dak was. Somebody said Dak Prescott sucks, though. Yeah, but I bet you if you had him in Miami, you'd be feeling like you could win a Super Bowl right now. If you had him in Miami, you feel like you could win a Super Bowl. Facts. And this is a ceiling because this kid does remind you from a body standpoint, from a mobility standpoint, wasn't the most doesn't have the greatest arm strength in the world, but can make plays with his arm and his legs. And if you put him in the right system with the right coaching, in a system that hides his lack of natural abilities, he could be Dak, they say. And that's what they say. We don't know, right? But that's why I'm going to tell y'all now. I have this belief when it comes to these quarterbacks. I think it is the most unfair thing in college football. In the NFL. I think when you're looking at a quarterback, it is the most unfair. It is the most unfair comparisons, man. Because everybody in the NFL has a different situation. And that's why people say I never do this, but I do. They just ignore it because they want me to be the Tua hater. I've always said Tua is going to be better with better around him. Because every quarterback is better with better around him. I always say that. But that's why I actually evaluate quarterbacks only on what they can control, so I can determine who they really are. And it sucks because you'll have a guy that played at the best team in college football, whether it's LSU, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, whatever school, Clemson, whatever school it is, you play for one of the best schools that got all these 5-star players. People act like talent doesn't matter. Coaching never trumps talent, ladies and gentlemen. I know people want to believe that. I can go get the best player at every position and make a team right now, and you can go get the 10th best player at every position around the NFL with the best coach. They still ain't gonna win. The coach, the better coach still ain't gonna win. At the end of the day, talent reigns supreme. But we automatically say a coach is a great coach, even though they had supreme talent. We automatically say a quarterback is a great quarterback, even if he had the best O-line, the best receivers, a complimentary run game, and a defense that get him the ball more than he should. We automatically make these assumptions, and I've always felt like it's the most unfair thing. They said Russell Wilson was elite. Russell Wilson elite. In his first 4 years, he elite. I said the man ain't elite. And then I doubled back. I said, I bet you he never make another Super Bowl after he get his money. You only get that title elite when you make your money and you ain't got as much around you and you still take your team. You still out there winning playoff games. Please indulge me with the playoff game Russell Wilson won since his rookie deal. Please let me know the playoff game he won since his rookie deal. Please tell me the game he carried his team since in the playoffs since his rookie deal. And we look at guys like Brady. And for so many years, Everybody Brady got are bums, and then all of a sudden, 15 years later, they are great players all of a sudden. You remember Edelman, Amendola, and all of those guys who they used to call bums at the beginning of the career? And they were the same guys consistently their whole career. They wasn't putting up 1,500 yards a year, making the Pro Bowls at all. They wasn't doing any of that, but they had a quarterback that was consistently just getting them the ball over and over and over. And it took 10 years of that consistent play for people to finally say, yeah, they're elite. Not elite, but they great players. They always used to be, Amendola, Welker and blah, blah, blah. Welker's nice, but he ain't of this. And by the end of Welker's career, Welker was that dude. There ain't many elite quarterbacks, ladies and gentlemen. And that's where they try to change the definition of elite. They try to make it just solely off of wins and losses, which is just the dumbest thing ever. And the sad thing is, I'm here to tell y'all, you can't prove a player is elite until they don't have everything around them. Everybody allowed to have a few things, a solid team, but I'm talking about they don't have some of the best in the league. And then if they ball out in those situations, now we can have that conversation. When you got one of the worst O-lines in the league and stuff like that, and you still lead the league in passing and all of that, now you got to look at characteristics of how was that possible? That type of stuff. Somebody said, so Aaron Rodgers? I'm sorry, man. Aaron Rodgers on that borderline for me because, again, and I put Aaron Rodgers, I put him as elite, but he's close, man. He ain't Brady, but he right there. Like he could slip down and slip back up anytime because he's right there. He has done some carrying. But he always had them receivers in them running games in an O-line. And then on top of it, when he had his best team, they went to a Super Bowl. Nobody talks about this part of Aaron Rodgers, and this is why I kind of like shun him a little. Beginning of the career, end of the career. Really freaking good. In the beginning of the career, he had everything he needed, and right now they've been trying their best to give him constantly as much as they can. But what happened to him in that middle gap of his career? What happened to him when nobody even talked about him in that big old chunk little 6 to 8 year period in his career? Just asking. But he gets the nod because he has had some times where he carried his team. He gets the nod. But it's a handful of quarterbacks that are elite, y'all. A handful. You want to know some of the guys that show elite traits early on in their career? Deshaun Watson showed elite traits. Joe Burrow, what he was able to do in the playoffs with that roster and them shutting down the run game and the wide receiver chase in the playoffs the way they did, and what he was able to do without all of that, those are elite traits. Herbert, I'm not giving him elite traits yet. Herbert didn't have the O-line. He had the worst O-line in the league his rookie year, and he balled out. He's on that trajectory, but I got to see Herbert in the postseason. I got to see him in the postseason. I wouldn't even be considering Deshaun Watson, but when he went to the postseason and what he did to Josh Allen and them early on, that was big time. But you see those early traits. But how in the heck am I supposed to be sitting here saying Patrick Mahomes is elite when the first 3-4 years he had everything to his disposal around him? Everything. Now, as that team starts to go through a transformation and defenses starting to figure out just play cover 2, because to be quite honest with you, the element that Tyreek brought to that defense when they played that cover 2 and you can't make that improvisational big throw all the time, that shook Patrick Mahomes last year. Go look at Patrick Mahomes in first 6 to 8 games. Everybody, what's wrong with Patrick? What's wrong with this? What's going on? They figured it out because he had to become more patient in this game. He had to become more patient in this game. And then when he got in the playoffs, he went right back to being the gunslinger, and it only take you but so far. Luckily for him, he had everything around him the first few years, and it took him to Super Bowls before people could catch on. But people have caught on, and it ain't going to get better and better, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to go downhill from here because we've seen this before. We've done this. We've been down this road before. See, this is another thing. Y'all forgetting about football history, recent history. Just look at recent history. Don't forget the years where the shift of the quarterback, Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, Kaepernick, RG3, Tannehill, Russell Wilson, all of those guys came in like a 2 to 3 year period altogether, if I'm not mistaken. Those were the new era guys. Bradfords and all of those guys in that area, that's a whole nother level of quarterbacks that came in. Why was all of them guys almost great starting out? Did you notice that? Outside of Tannehill, right? But he was good enough to hold his own and say he's our quarterback. But let's not include him. But did you realize all of those guys in that same little bucketed 3-year period were all good? When are you ever going to see that many quarterbacks in a 3-year period that good, young? And I'm probably missing a few of them. When is the last time you've seen like 6, 7, or 8 quarterbacks that came in a 3 to 4 year span that good starting their rookie seasons? Like they about to take over the NFL. All of them was at the top of their level. They were balling out. MVPs, championship round appearances, Super Bowl winners. Y'all forgot that? '83 class was good. No, I'm saying like a 3-year span of classes, because usually this class good, that one not, that one's okay, but that one's really good. You know, it was. Let's go through it again around that era. Russell Wilson, Kaepernick, RG3, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck. And it's more. I might be even missing some. They came and they were taking the league over by storm. Every Sunday, these guys throwing 300-400 yards, deep bombs, and touchdowns everywhere. Some of them didn't even expect to be the quarterback, and now they starting for their team. Kirk Cousins, I think Sam Bradford, and those guys were in that era. Maybe, I just don't remember. Was Sam Bradford in that same time frame? I don't know. I got to see. Kirk Cousins. Yeah, all of these guys, remember? Let me look it up, man. Sam Bradford draft year. Let me see. 2010. Hold on. Russell Wilson draft year 2012. Yeah, it was in that same area, man. It was Bradford was the early stage for it because he got that money. Guys like that, man. Bradford, Cam Newton. Somebody said Wentz and Foles. It was the 2010 to 2014 era. Every single one of them guys were balling, putting up numbers. Exactly. Cap and RG3 were only around a couple years, but that's transitioning into the point that I'm trying to make. We had like 6, 7 quarterbacks that we were like, oh my gosh, they about to be the future. It's about to be crazy in the NFL. All of these guys are balling and putting up numbers. Man, how many of them kept doing it after their rookie deal? How many of them kept doing it after their rookie deal? Cam Newton ain't never been the same. Russell Wilson ain't had nearly the success he's had and can't get out of the first round of the playoffs. RG3 flamed out, whatever happened. Kaepernick, that's not say that his whole social justice situation is what flamed him out. He actually fell off for the year or two before all of that took place. I'm just, politics aside, he wasn't the same player no more anyway. Still deserved to be in the NFL, even if it was as a backup, whatever, or a starter on a bad team. But his play had disappeared. Andrew Luck was the only one that was that dude. And he got killed so much due to his O-line that he just said, screw this, I'm retiring. So he the only one get a pass. Somebody said Marcus Mariota. Was he balling at first, though? Was he balling at first? Nah, he ain't in there. He 2015. I ain't talking about him. He came right after them. He don't even count in this discussion. He came after this discussion. But that was my whole point. All of those guys also went to a situation that was perfect. Tannehill didn't. Imagine if Tannehill had went to a Tennessee situation right away, it would have been the same thing. Whether he was great or not, he would have put up enough numbers to be in the conversation because he makes it to the playoffs every year and they make a run. Y'all forgot this era? I'm telling y'all, it was loaded with quarterbacks. Andy Dalton, good one. He definitely was leading his franchise, and he was balling at first, putting up numbers. Whoever said Andy Dalton, good job. He was right in the middle of that era. He was right 2011, Andy Dalton. And you ain't got to like Dalton now, but Dalton was actually putting up numbers. He always had a receiver, though. But Dalton was the guy that put the numbers up, but the results just couldn't get it done at the end of the day. But he put the numbers up. I'm telling y'all, history already showed y'all this, and y'all want to repeat it again. So that's why when I seen Patrick Mahomes do what he did, okay, let me see you in 4 years. And that clock starts this year, by the way. And they started figuring them out last year. But his official clock starts this year. That's why when Lamar Jackson doing his MVP like Cam Newton, let's see you 2 years from now what that's going to look like. When Josh Allen had his year 3 spark and his great year 4, let's see how that convey. Well, this is last year, but the year after that, let's see how that looks. Because this is the last year they got a window of benefiting from a great roster, being able to afford it all. Let's see how that looked the year after. We do this to ourselves every time, and history already shows you this is a new NFL, ladies and gentlemen. The quarterbacks are not like they used to be. Most teams are building a team and dropping the quarterback in like a cherry on top, and that quarterback looks great early on. Then you stuck giving them the big deal, and you scratching your head wondering why it ain't working out in years 5, 6, and 7. Then you're trying to move on or replace it with a top quarterback. So if you're not going to get it in the first 4 years and you re-up the contract, you have a Tannehill situation. If you ain't going to get it in the first 4 years and you make that bad mistake to pick the 5th-year option up, you get a Baker Mayfield situation. The Seattle Seahawks been trying to tell y'all this the whole time. They gave Russell Wilson his money, his first deal. There was no problem with that. He earned it, right? You're going to get it. He got his deal. Why, when the next deal came up, they waited till the very last minute to re-sign it? They were trying to trade him. And everybody, what, you just going to let him walk? And I kept saying, yeah, you ain't going to win anyway. TD, you delusional. This was 2 years ago. We were arguing on this channel about this. I said, you're not going to win anyway. You're giving him a 2-year extension. You're not going to win anyway. No, it was a 3-year extension. You're not going to win anyway. Let him walk. If he want to hold you hostage, trade the man now. Well, what if he don't get traded and he don't want to go nowhere, and then he becomes a free agent? What you going to do, TD? Let him walk? Yes, save your $50 million and go get another quarterback, or draft somebody and start over and build the Legion of Boom and put a draft pick in it. That's the only hope I have for Tua, honestly. Create a team like Seattle did. Great run game, good deep threats, amazing defense, and Tua's the exact guy, in my opinion, like Russell Wilson, that could take advantage of that and not be a liability, and you might be able to win a Super Bowl if all those other elements are at the top of their game. That's why I'm shocked that they were able to build a team this way, and that's the only faith, the little bit of faith that I do have that this can work. And I said, let Russell Wilson walk. Go draft the quarterback. Get on it early. Don't waste your time. It's going to come to an end eventually. You keep wasting your time. Nah, TD, you crazy. Here we are 2 years later, and Russell Wilson needs his next extension, and here they are shopping him again. Like I told y'all before, and what did they get the last 2 years? Can't get out the first round. And finally, they're smart enough to pull the freaking trigger. Get the draft picks and move on, man. You knew this guy wasn't the top of this guy wasn't going to carry the team to begin with. He was just a guy that wasn't going to lose the game for you, and he's going to play his role and help do his part, which you can win if you got everything around him, but not if you paying that type of player $40, $50 million. Russell Wilson is a prime example that you can only win with him if he's making $25 million a year, as he should. But since you won with him, he's worth 50 because some idiot out there would pay it. So what did Denver do? Denver has the defense. Denver has the run game. Denver has the weapons, and you plug him in. And the only reason they'll be able to afford it for 2 years is because the way they structured the deal. So he got a better shot in Denver. But Seattle was already years in on the books. Ain't no more kicking the can down the road. Ain't no more renegotiating to create cap space. You done had them too long on that kind of money. You're way off. Russell Wilson throws a great deep ball. I didn't say he doesn't throw a great deep ball. That's one of his strengths. You got a run game and you got deep threats, and he'll take play action. He'll take advantage of those opportunities when they come, and he won't lose the game for you. And he'll do his job and do it well, but he ain't finna carry you. He's not going to carry you. He's not going to be the guy out here running the first downs on every play, making every single. No, that offense has always been predicated off of taking the ball out of his hands, not wanting him to throw the ball more than 30 times a game, and when he does, make sure it's a high percentage throw. So Vlad said, what's your point? My point in all of this is we get so caught up in giving these quarterbacks titles early in their career when they're in perfect situations or terrible situations, when the truth is you don't know what they are yet until you've seen them in both. You don't know what the quarterback is until you've seen them in both situations. But we pay them and treat them as if we know. Stop putting words in TD mouth. I ain't reading the chat to see what somebody's saying, but that's pretty common. They'll say I said something because their interpretation of it is different from the actual words I said. All I'm saying is history shows us this. We keep having errors of quarterbacks coming in, lighting it up. So, yeah, I'm impressed with Herbert's rookie year. Yeah, I'm impressed with what Burrow's done so far. But again, let me see you in year 5, 6, and 7. See what you really are. And Brady ain't even that dude like that. But at least Brady was wise enough to say, I'm going to go ahead and keep taking a salary that's going to allow me to stay in this situation, and I will become the GOAT. That's how you play chess, not checkers. These guys want that big deal right away, playing checkers. Black and white. Brady said, man, I'm going to keep winning Super Bowls and always going to championship rounds. And eventually they'll start calling me the greatest because I'm going to do it at a high level and very efficiently. I'm not going to be out here making the best throws of all time, but I'm going to be efficient in my game. And as I continue, I'm going to continue being a student of the game too, so that eventually by the time I'm 10, 15 years in, I am a master at it. So now I know how to manipulate it. So now I am starting to get recognition for my intangibles. I'm going to grow into that. You think they were calling Brady the GOAT after his third Super Bowl? Not even close. They still said Peyton was better. It took Peyton to retire and Brady to get another one for them to finally say, yeah, he finally done got in his own league. And Brady ain't even close to the Super Bowls. I mean, Peyton ain't even close to the Super Bowls that Brady got. Chess, man, not checkers. Chess. Keep on winning. Keep on winning. Keep on winning. And be and play at a high level and never be a liability. Never be the reason you lose. Just never be the reason you lose. It's that simple, man. And that made him the GOAT. So that's why I'm the way I am with quarterbacks, y'all. Because some people always say this comment that tries to stump me in my approach. They say, then what quarterback is good enough for you, TD? It depends on the system. It depends on what the team is trying to accomplish. It's that simple. It depends on the system and what the team is trying to accomplish, how they're trying to play their game. Different quarterbacks fit different systems perfectly. Some of these great quarterbacks couldn't keep up with some of these bum quarterbacks in certain systems. It depends on the system. And then the elite guys, it don't matter which system it is, they're going to make it happen. Then you got guys that make up for their inefficiencies with their legs. That's a whole nother factor. Whole nother factor. So you don't think Burrow is for real? Right now, I think he is. But people thought Cam Newton was for real. Go look at Cam Newton throwing the ball his first 4 years and what he was doing. The accuracy and the throws and the ability and the playmaking. They thought he was the real deal. Yes.
Why did you just want new pancakes?
Well, let mommy know.
Mama's sleeping.
All right, well, I'm coming now anyway, because we're going to pick up Carter from school, okay?
And we can get the new pancakes.
Cammy, you had pancakes this morning. You cannot have pancakes for lunch, okay?
Okay. But
And you already ate lunch.
I now want more.
You can't eat pancakes for lunch. We'll go get a snack when Carter get out of school, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll get you a snack in 5 minutes, all right?
Okay. Wow.
Go clean your room, because we're about to go.
Okay.
And put your school lesson up, all right?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Put this back. Don't break it. Love you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Pancakes.
Bye. Bye.
Always got to dance on his way out. So listen, man. That's why I still even hold out hope for Tua. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see this. Give me a second. All right. Keaton, in your opinion, are we going all in concerning this team to include Tua for let me see. Include Tua for 2022, 2023. If it doesn't work, is another rebuild in store? A rebuild isn't in store. It's a Ram situation. It's a Ram situation. You know what? It's a Rams and San Francisco 49ers situation, because they will get a great quarterback next year. Brady is already on the docket for next year if this don't work out. He's already on the docket. We don't make the playoffs with this roster and this talent, Brady's on his way. He's a free agent. He's going to sign with Miami. We're going to go win a Super Bowl in 2024, but we're also going to draft a quarterback in the first round next year to sit behind Brady if it doesn't work out. Also, if we have success this year and our quarterback position wasn't the main reason, just like San Francisco, because think about it, is San Francisco not having success? Are they not making it to the Super Bowls and the championship rounds? But yet they still getting rid of their quarterback. See, this that notion, people, that's why I don't go off of wins and losses. This is why it is a delusion to go off of wins and losses, and you setting yourself up to be mad. Because if we go to the playoffs and we go far in the playoffs, and our quarterback ain't a major reason why, they still moving on. Because if we go that far, that means this team bust this behind, and if the quarterback didn't ball out, then he was the missing link. We need another level. Because once you get in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard. You could actually have a great team, and it's still hard. So you got to find your advantages. So if you get to the playoffs and you get to the championship round and you lose, no, how do we get better than this? Oh, yeah, we just got to upgrade the quarterback position. Because I'm going to tell you now, you make it that far, that means that O-line ain't the issue. Even if they play poor in a game, that ain't the issue. Receivers aren't the issue. No. Y'all don't understand the expectation this year. Some could argue it's going to be hard for him to stay on this team after this year anyway. You don't make the playoffs and lose in the first round and say, we building on this. Look at the team around him. How can you get better than this? What moves you think they going to make? Bring in 2 first-round picks to make us a Super Bowl team? You ain't got no money next year to spend in free agency. Let's get that straight now. You ain't got no money to spend in free agency, okay? That's why they're holding off and we're waiting to see what they're going to do with Christian Wilkins' deal. All you got is your first 2 draft picks next year. And do we really sit here and feel like we're first round draft picks away from winning the Super Bowl? Even if we made it far this year? Y'all see the competition in the AFC. All these teams got better. There's at least 6 teams in the AFC that knows that they feel they're a better team than us now, regardless of our acquisitions, just because of their acquisitions. You got analysts saying the Jets might have surpassed us anyway. I don't agree. And that ain't even inside the 6 that I'm talking about. You think anybody feel like we got better than the Chiefs? You think anybody feel like we got better than Buffalo? You think they feel like we got better than the Bengals? You think they feel like we got better than Baltimore when at a healthiness? You think they feel like we got better than the Broncos with them adding Russell Wilson, an actual elite quarterback, when they already had a better roster before this? I ain't mentioned the Browns. I ain't mentioned Tennessee. I ain't mentioned the Colts. I ain't mentioned Pittsburgh. I didn't mention the Chargers just now. That's 5 teams I didn't even mention. Let me say them again. I didn't mention Cleveland. I didn't mention the Chargers. I didn't mention the Colts. I didn't mention Pittsburgh. I didn't mention Tennessee. That's 5 more teams right there that I didn't even mention. I mentioned 6 teams, but that's 5 more that I didn't even mention that people will argue are better than us. I didn't mention the doggone Raiders. 6 teams that some people would feel like they still better than us. Now, I believe we better than at least half of them, and we're going to make a little leap. I ain't mentioned New England. And I already told you I kept the Jets on the outside. You know how hard it's going to be for Tua to impact this team to a level to where we leapfrog every single one of those teams that I didn't mention, let alone the ones I did mention. This man is going to have to play on a oh my God level just to win the division. And if he does, he deserves to be our quarterback. But at the same token, they may move on, because at the end of the day, even if we go to the playoffs, if you lose in the playoffs, the Miami Dolphins' responsibility is to say, how do we get better from here? And they got an ultimate decision to make. This is the best quarterback class coming out that may be in a while. We have the assets to get one of them. Do we use these picks to make the team better around Tua, who's about to get paid big money after that season? And now we got to get rid of some of the talent because we are too expensive now? Or do we go ahead and get a young quarterback that got a greater upside than him to begin with and keep going forward that way? Conventional wisdom tells you go get a first round pick that's going to come out with maybe even a higher upside than Tua. If they even drafted Bryce Young, that's a better starting level than Tua. I feel like that kid is better than Tua pre-draft. But once again, had everything around him and all of that, but at least he ain't coming in with the major injury unless he get hurt this year. I'll knock on wood. But you got this team with a Bryce Young, and you got 4 more years to try to figure it out around him, but you got so much more around him now. Now it's so much more younger talent around him. The problem with Tua is you gained all this young talent while he was here instead of having the team ready and dropping Tua in. It's a problem. Scant Dollar said, TD, Jimmy G is a 31-14 as a starter, and they move on. Exactly. That's why people need to stop this dumb narrative about the record. It's stupid. Kendrick Perkins got a winning record in his career. Does that mean he that dude? No. Everybody truly knows this defense that got these victories over the last 2 years. Everybody know it. Ain't no question. You ready to go? All right, y'all, man. It's time to get out of here. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. This TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I will see y'all in a little bit. We got a show tonight at 7:30. Special guests. Y'all gonna enjoy it. Special guests. Y'all gonna enjoy it. High five, man. 7:30 tonight. Y'all tune in. We got a special guest. Hopefully I can go live before that. Michael said, TD, your credibility is going to drop if you keep talking like this. What credibility? First of all, I don't care about credibility. I just talk my talk, right? Don't make it right. Don't make it wrong. And on top of it, talking like this, bro, come on, man. These are facts. Look at Jimmy G, a winning quarterback. Matter of fact, he has a better winning record than 90% of the quarterbacks in the NFL, believe it or not. And they're moving on. Why are they moving on? Why are they moving on from Jimmy G? And he's not even making 40-some million a year. Why are they moving on from Jimmy G? So if I keep talking like this, I'm going to lose credibility. Then that's only losing credibility to the people that ignore facts. And I really don't care about keeping credibility with them to begin with, because you'll never have it. You'll never have it. You know how many? Thank you, Donald. You know how many games Jared Goff won that he has? Man, the evidence is out here in front of everybody, and they want to believe otherwise. They want to believe otherwise. Start looking at the facts, ladies and gentlemen. So if anybody want to dispute what I'm saying, Jared Goff is even a winning quarterback. Well, Tua got a winning record. All he does is win. Then why are they getting rid of? Why is San Francisco getting rid of Jimmy G, and Mike McDaniel comes from that tree? He knows why they're getting rid of him. And you know what? Mike McDaniel ain't lie. We can win with Tua, but he never said we win a Super Bowl. So technically, he didn't lie to get a job. We can win with Tua. We can win with Tua. We won with Jimmy G. You're right. But what do y'all want? To win like San Francisco or win a Super Bowl? Because you're going to end up replacing your quarterback anyway. But we'll see. Hopefully Tua is the anomaly that ends up winning it all. Then we can shut all this up and he can prove himself. TD is the Fox News of FINSTALK, strictly for entertainment, not for substance. JR, I'm interested in hearing who you listen to tell you all these lies. So I'm the Fox News. Then that gives, what you just said gives Fox News credibility then. Because I would like for you to answer the question. And I bet you he don't, y'all. JR Blake, you got 30 seconds to answer the question. Why is San Francisco trying to move on from Jimmy G? You getting some attention, because that's all you wanted anyway. You getting some attention. Why is San Francisco trying to move on from Jimmy G? And don't tell me it's because of Patriot collusion. Don't give me some off the wall narrative to try to deflect. Oh, he disappeared now. Nowhere to be found. JR Blake, we waiting on you. Well, I did say 30 seconds, though. We at least 10 in. I'm going to give you 30. We waiting, JR. Oh, that's your response? Don't care for attention, fam. So that's your response? You understood the assignment. Answer the question. Answer the question. You want to spend some of your 30 seconds to say don't care for attention. That's all you heard? Yeah, I know what channel you watch. I know what channel you watch. Did I hurt your feelings? Yeah. We know what channel he watches now. You didn't hurt my feelings. I actually appreciate comments like yours because it gives me an opportunity to show how ignorant you are. You didn't hurt my feelings. These are the perfect, matter of fact, these are the perfect comments that I actually thrive on. When someone says something like that, I try to get them to prove what they said, and you have yet to do so. And all you could do as a result is, did I hurt your feelings? Telling the truth? Where's the answer? So when people come in here and say that, y'all, that's why I respond to them, because I like calling them out and showing how ignorant they are. They say things and have nothing to back it up. All their responses are, you're the ignorant one, fam, but still can't answer the basic question. This is what I want you to pay attention to. When it was civil and it was a civil debate, I read the comment. I didn't say anything bad about him. I didn't say anything bad to him. I asked him a simple question. Why is San Francisco trying to get rid of Jimmy G? His next 5 responses deflected from the question that was asked. That's why I appreciate people like him coming over here, spewing that garbage, those garbage comments, because I get an opportunity to show you how ignorant those people are. Because they can't answer the simple question. Oh, now he want to answer it. You know why? Because I forced him to. Because I showed him how incompetent he was. Now let's hear his answer. Jimmy need the system, but can't make the winning play, fam. Oh, so that's why they getting rid of him. Oh, but we got to develop a system directly for Tua for him to succeed. So where am I off in my narrative? Same thing in Miami. We are creating a specific system that's going to fit Tua and help him succeed, getting the ball out of his hand quick, trying to create an offense that's going to run the ball and allow yards after the catch. We have to create the system, and Tua is going to need this system because he obviously couldn't do the last 3. So where was I wrong in my narrative about this? I'm saying me and you actually agree, but you want to say I'm wrong. You know why? Because Tua's attached to the narrative. Tua's attached to the narrative. All QBs need a system, fam. Lies. Some QBs make the system. Some QBs, regardless what system you give them, they can operate it because they're that good. It goes off of your intangibles. If you got the full package, it don't matter what system you in, I can do it. I can make the throws in that system. I can make the throws in that system. I can make the throws in this system. I have the legs for that system. I have the accuracy for this system. I have the ability to read the defense for this system. I have the athleticism to operate this system. Every system is predicated off of the skill of the quarterback, man. You run a system that best suits the quarterback, or you get a quarterback that can run your system. You act like every quarterback need a system. Yeah, one catered to them, but you act like there ain't guys that ain't got the full package that basically, regardless of what system you run, they can thrive in. Regardless of what system you run, they can thrive in it. It all goes off of what intangibles the quarterback has. So if I run this type of system, there is a quarterback with certain intangibles that's best in that system. But there are some guys that's just that dude, bro. And another thing, some systems are weaker than others. What you need to understand, the most explosive system, the system that puts up the most points and that gets everything, is the straight up pro style system. Everybody can't run it though, so they got to be relegated to the RPO in the West Coast and this and that. Those are systems that are designed to hide flaws, that are designed to take it to hide limitations. Because if certain people didn't have limitations, you wouldn't need to run the system. Either way, man, I gotta go pick up my son from school. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. I will see y'all later. At the end of the day, man, it's going to be tough sledding this year for the Miami Dolphins in the AFC. We got to come out, punch these teams in the mouth, hold our own, and get some wins that we're not going to be favored to win, and show the world that we that team. We going to have to take everything this year. All this stuff we trying to give them on paper, y'all better slow down. This going to be one of the toughest seasons to navigate in the AFC. And we think because we got Tyreek Hill and Armstead that we just, bam, snap our fingers and here we go. It's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. All it did is help us catch up to the pile. Now certain players got to show up and be the difference maker. Certain players got to show up and be the difference makers, man. And now we're going to see who ball and who fall. Fins up. See you soon. Peace. I am out.